Yo, what is up, you devious bastards? This is Negative coming at you guys with a video for Marth to showcase a technique called gliding. Now, the elements of this technique are not necessarily new. Everyone's kind of seen all of them, but no one's putting it together as a technique, packaging it, and implementing it in various matchups. And I think that there actually exists some niche places where it could be applied quite successfully. So this is just another tool in Marth's toolbox. Hopefully we can just keep improving the meta. And so I'm going to showcase that stuff right now for you guys. So what we see on the screen here, this is Mega Man, right? We all know Mega Man. You see him jumping. And when he's jumping, he kind of pulls his body back, right? So similarly, when Marth does his back jump, we see that like Marth pulls his body back. Let me see that? Like he pulls his whole body back, and basically like his feet are in the same position, but his whole upper body, he's created this extra space where normally if he was to just jump straight up, we notice that like he extends his arm and his chest, right? Like he leans into it, like extending his hurt boxes into the region where other people are going to be putting hit boxes, which is less desirable than the animation for the back hop where he creates all this extra space. So let's try to implement this, right? So what we have is you can do it out of standing or you can do it out of pivot. I find the one out of pivot is more useful, but they're both kind of useful in their own way. But we're just going to start with the standing version, and then I'll try to do a pivot. I'm still pretty bad at this, so work with me, guys. Basically, what we're going to do, we can do slow turnaround with Marth, and you can cancel slow turnaround into jump. So when we do slow turnaround, we can cancel into jump. So we're going to hold back and then just hold jump. And as you can see, I can just do it into a back hop, into a back hop, into a back hop, because you have a pretty large window. It's very lenient. Basically, like once you hit the ground, if you press jump after your landing lag, then you have the entire window of where you'd normally be turning around to just press jump. And you don't even have to change. You can just keep holding the same amount of tilt in the backward direction, and you can just jump, 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 jump. It's easy. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do back turnaround jump, right, to do our jump backward. But what we want to do is, on the first frame where we leave the ground, we want to switch to full DI forward, right? On the first frame that we're able to actually hold forward without getting a neutral jump instead of our back jump, that's when we want to get full DI forward, because basically the faster we can switch to full DI forward, the further we're going to glide, right? Because basically we have to counteract our initial backward momentum from the back jump into the forward momentum that we want. So basically we're going to do back, and like the faster we do it, the further we're going to get, right? So let me just show you that. So like that's, we're going to jump back like that, and then we're going to let go. Or, well, I'm going to let go. You're going to press this directional stick forward. So, just like that, right? And, like, you can get pretty decent distance, like, in the forward direction, right? Like, let's see. Like you can get pretty much almost the same as, like, if you had a delayed neutral. Like, you can just get like about that much, right? So pretty good, like extra distance. But on the other hand, like you've created extra space. So like for certain matchups, when you're fighting Jigglypuff, for example, like being able to dash back, empty pivot into like drifting forward, but it's not that full drift speed forward. Like it's not like a dash jump, like a YOLO dash jump where you're going to get hit by a back air. It's that like neutral, like mid speed, hey, I'm coming at you, but I'm not reckless. And Puff's going to throw that back air, and where it normally would have hit you, now you've pulled back and created extra space. So it's more likely that it's going to miss, but you still have the same horizontal spacing that you had before where you would have got hit. So you're extra close. You're able to get that forward air to connect. and you can punish it and do whatever the hell you want to do. But that's the idea, is that certain matchups, like Puff, especially with Puff's back air, this is going to allow you to retract your hurt boxes while still gaining the same forward spacing that you wanted in the air, and sets you up even better for like potential whiff punishes. So let's try to do it out of like empty pivot. So here we want to do empty pivot, right? And then what we want to do is just jump and then switch to full forward DI. So hopefully I don't fuck this up too badly. Let's try it out. So, okay. All right, I got to hit jump afterwards. Just like that, right? So that's what you want to do. You can, and it's kind of useful there because you're going to dash away and then like immediately like you're jumping and drifting forward, but with your back hop. So I think it's a pretty sick spacing tool, especially if we can actually get very, very consistent with it to where it's just it's an option that we have. So like in certain matchups, like Puff, especially like when you jump at Puff, if you have a choice between just holding forward, or actually just gliding in, like I would prefer to glide, like, and either have that mix up between gliding, like, and creating that extra space to set me up for whiff punishes versus the YOLO dash forward jump, like full speed, full aerial speed into like a fair. And that's the mix up, right? Like the reserved, I'm holding my aerial space, creating space at the same time I approach, versus like I immediately covered that distance and now I'm in your face. Like, and Marth needs to have that explosiveness. So I think that this will work very well in a matchup versus Puff, and hopefully in some other matchups as well. I'm sure that this technique can also apply to other characters depending on how good their forward air is and how good their pullback animation is on their jumps. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you find some other cool applications for other characters. I haven't tested it with those too much because I'm a Marth main, but I look forward to seeing what you guys can produce. And hopefully we can see people like Zane even implement optimizations like this in the future and help push that Marth meta forward. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you around.